Wonderful to have you with us live across the planet. John Jones is with us this morning, the principal of St. Joseph's in Crossmaglen. Tom McKay, Newry man abroad, went to South Armagh 50 years ago, decided he liked what he saw and stayed there. And we still see you, Tom. You're very welcome. Both, you're on the Board of Governors for 35 years of this wonderful school.
That's right.
Tom, you're in a good position to comment. What's so special about this St. Joseph's School, Crossmaglen?
The one thing that strikes me about St. Joseph's Crossmaglen is that the minute you enter the door, it's the warmth of the people, the greetings that you get from meeting the people going in, be it from the pupils to the teachers, to the ancillary staff. Everyone will have a greeting for you. And inspectors have mentioned on a number of occasions the fact that they can walk around the corridor and a kid will say to them, "Good morning, how are you?"
Yeah.
That type of thing. It's that typical South Armagh openness and
I was going to say that. It's a perfect example of that intangible wonderment that is South Armagh. It's almost something from a kind of educational Valhalla where it's all channeled through, and the children do. I know this. I hear them say it. "Hello, how are you?" And they're possessed of a confidence, John Jones, as
they are
well.
indeed. Now, that's a very important part of the school's ethos is to turn out confident young people.
Yeah.
Really and truly.
And they're doing that. You see, they would have been, over the years, some of them anyway, would have seen rougher times, and not some things the families may wish they wouldn't have seen, and they endured things.
Yeah.
But out of endurance and out of difficulty comes a strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I just say, and that's a very valid point you make, Rowan, St. Joseph's has thrived in the face of adversity. And for a number of years, they were under siege from bomb and bullet.
They were.
Teachers and pupils were on their knees in the classrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yet they still managed to provide an education for the kids that come to that school.
I recall you talk about class. My children were educated over at St. Joseph's, and they were, on more than one occasion, when the police station came under fire, they were lying on the floor again and saying their prayers with the teachers.
Yeah.
So we come through all of these things, and there's a resilience about the people of South Armagh, which is beautiful, you know, and it's good. How were you drawn into the Board of Governors to begin with, Tom?
I would say from at the start it was purely a selfish reason.
You had a child at the school?
A child at the school, and got involved that way. But the more I become involved and could observe the workings of the school from the inside, the more I realised that this was something great, this was something important, and was worthwhile devoting your time to. Because in St. Joseph's, every child's the same. Every child is treated as equal. And the caring and the sharing of the teachers was tremendous. And the longer I sat on the Board of Governors, the more I realised this. And I realised that this was something which was not just a task. And for me, it became a labour of love.
It's a
the fact that in some way I might have been able to influence or guide them along the way.
But in guiding the school and the ethos of the school, you're a gardener in values. You're planting values into children, into susceptible minds, ready to take in, ready to absorb. So they come to you, John. You're the principal. What age do they come to you at?
At 11 years of age, and they're now stated they're 18.
Yeah, so you see them coming at 11. What characterises your intake now that will come in September?
Well, obviously, you've got the male-female mix.
Yeah.
We're a non-selective school.
Yes.
We're a local community family school. And I think children come into school, we know them, we know their kith and their kin. We value every child regardless of ability. It's all ability, as I say, non-selective.
Yeah.
And I think the new school is just going to be the icing on the cake for us, because we do believe that the quality of education that we already deliver within the confines of a very tired building is already very, very good.
Now, what makes your building tired? I was going to ask you that. Why do you need a new school?
Well, I suppose it's 50 years old this year. We celebrate our 50th anniversary now on the 7th of September this year. That's my first took our pupils in 1964. And I suppose the building's just tired and worn, isn't it, Tom?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and for example, we wouldn't have any drama facilities.
Yeah. But of course, apart from the facilities, if there is a tired and a worn kind of atmosphere around the place, it doesn't instill the kind of joy and joie de vivre of the children.
No, could I just say, Oron, that it's the bricks and mortars that are worn.
Oh yeah.
It's not the quality of the teaching.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that.
It's that enthusiasm.
I take that without saying,
and the
Tom.
will to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But there's such a thing as equal rights for people. And you know, we look at our school that was built over 50 years ago, and because we were very good in maintaining it and looking after it, and there was no vandalism.
And not squeaking too much.
And not squeaking too much.
You didn't get the oil.
You didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you look at it, the schools in Newry, they've had 2 schools, 3 schools. There's such a thing as equal rights for
absolutely,
people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, what was the process? These are stringent times, John.
Well,
what was the process of identifying the pathway to the new funding?
Well, I suppose, you know, it's nice that I in particular now, I'm at the front of all this news, but before me, for example, Tom has been on the government for 35 years. There's been 4 previous principals who've all worked vociferously to try and ensure that the children of South Armagh had good education facilities. The governors, past principals, and I have to say, Tom, our local representatives have really come to the fore, both Sinn Féin and SDLP.
That's the point. You see, they've done a Herculean task of making the contacts, but we're not living in times where there's lots of money about.
No.
How did you get, what is it, 15 million or what?
14.5.
Well, how did you get your 14.5 million?
Well, as you
what
said,
made them say, yes, I want to give you this?
I have to say now, this year we got the Student Council under the guidance of Mrs. Rosemary Burns to come on board, and I have to say they met with public representatives, they met delegations from the SDLP, they met delegations from Sinn Féin, they wrote to the Minister. They've been very proactive in highlighting our situation, and I have to say we have to applaud their efforts.
Absolutely.
Really and truly.
The confidence, youngsters making the contacts, you know.
You know, really and truly.
Yeah. But
Tom, go.
I was going to say, it's been a sort of a constant drip wear down. We have been working on this for a number of years, and every opportunity we got to meet politicians and that type of thing, we were pressing our case all the time, and made full use. And I'd also mentioned Danny Kennedy. I spoke to Danny Kennedy on a number of occasions, and Danny said he would raise it with the Minister of Education. And the CCMS, our own parish priest, Father Joe McKay, who's on that, the CCMS have also worked very hard for it. So we had all those people, and so eventually at the end of the day, we got there. We just simply refused to take no for an answer.
Well, I've seen water wear down the granite of the Mourns. So you're the kind of...
We were the squeaky hinge.
Yes, indeed.
And I'd like to think there was a bit of Mourn working away in the background there.
Well, of course, absolutely.
Two down men in the background.
Two down men there, yeah. Your alumni from the school, what have they gone on to do? Have you famous people who have gone out and made an impact on the world?
Well, obviously now I tweeted there from the school Twitter account, congratulated our past pupils who were playing for Armagh on Saturday night.
Wow.
Obviously, and we had some on the minor panel yesterday. Unfortunately, they were beaten. The good thing about our school, Rowan, is that we have a whole lot of different pathways. We have children and young people who go to university.
I love that phrase, pathways.
Yeah.
Because I was never educated, because I was being put in a box, and I was been told, I'm a mass, a mat, a mammas, a mat, as a man. I'm a bow, I'm a bis, I'm a bit, I'm a bit, as I'm a bit, as I'm a bond. You will learn the Latin now!
Yes. Well, Tom will tell you now, Mara Mulligan, our Vice Principal in charge of curriculum, she offers pathways at key stage 4. There's maybe 4 or 5 different pathways, depending on the abilities and interests of children. In fact, Tom, remember the last Board of Governors meeting, she talked through a couple of very personalised timetables
Yes.
for children, you know, who...
So personalised timetables, meaning you're facilitating the specific requirement of a certain student or group of students.
As far as it can be done.
Oh, yeah. But that's the lovely thing, that you're open to doing it within the realms of reality.
Yeah.
And that's no more can be
Well,
asked.
as I say, if you look at all our past pupils, hairdressers, accountants, doctors, pharmacists, bricklayers, carpenters, the lot, you know, the whole remit is covered in St. Joseph's.
And we have also produced millionaires with just the basic qualifications.
Wow.
People who would have the entrepreneurial skills.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
That
But sure, they're born
you
with
don't
that.
get at
in South
university,
Africa.
you know.
You know,
So it's been an all-round success.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember, but it's so important that this approach is promulgated on a constant basis, because I've said to people, I wasn't educated at the Abbey. And why were you not educated at the Abbey, Ron? Because I ran away from the Abbey. I didn't like studying chemistry. I didn't like I was more interested in seeing the wildlife out through the window. I was more likely to enjoy mitching down the middle bank between the river and the canal.
Yes.
All that kind of thing. And somebody said, a very wise person said, well, you know, it was just you were being educated in the wrong things.
Yes.
And that had I been educated in matters of the natural world, I could have ended up as a David Attenborough, or I could have ended up as a person who would take a doctorate in the study of bird behaviour or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's identifying that which is significant and relevant to the individual.
Yeah, and probably one thing which contributes to it is that we work in collaboration with St. Paul's and Bestbrook,
Yes.
Newton Hamilton High School and Southern
Is
Regional
St.
College.
Paul's a selection school?
It's non-selective.
Like yourself?
Yeah, like ourselves.
You see, I dreamed of this coming. I used to pray when the brief 2 years I went to the Abbey, I used to pray, why should people ever, I was kind of ahead of my time as a young fella, I was almost political in demanding the end of this 11 plus.
Yeah.
It worried too many people, too nonsensically all
Yeah.
along the way, you know. But, I must tell you, by apropos nothing, other than great sadness, you will have known Patsy McGuigan. Patsy passed away yesterday.
Is that the bookshop?
He was the bookshop.
Ah.
Passed away yesterday. His daddy was the boots man.
Aye, well, we nicknamed him
That
Boots.
was Patsy.
Does he own the bed and breakfast at the Belfast
He
Road?
does. He does.
Ah, right.
Patsy
went
played
yesterday.
on the Shamrocks team with me.
Yeah.
That team that won the championship.
And 50,
Yeah.
what did you say, 50 what, Tom?
55,
55.
Oh, Lord have mercy on him.
Well, it's maybe happy for him. He's
Right,
gone.
hadn't been
now.
well.
Hadn't been well for
Right.
a wee while.
Didn't
you
realise
know.
that.
So there you are. Yeah, I'm sorry for sharing that with you, but I knew you both would know
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
him. And he's a good Newry man who's now gone. Now, back to the school.
Could I just make
Yeah.
when you were talking about the linkage with St. Paul's
Yeah.
and Newton Hamilton High, that St. Joseph's have worked extremely hard and would have been the leader in establishing relations with Newton Hamilton High School, which is a complete.
Do you know what I like about you? And I like it about you, but you're giving expression to it. You're actually opening the palm of your hand to the Protestant people, your neighbours.
Yes.
And you're doing it with joy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's called civilization, Tom. And it's nothing extraordinary for you. You're doing it with consummate ease.
Yes.
And you're speaking about it as though it's as natural as you taking your next breath. I'm so pleased to hear you talk. Your dad would be proud of you. He would.
But you know, we made the effort, you know, and it wasn't easy.
No.
And last year, was it 5 or 6 of our pupils took a course in Newton Hamilton High School.
For an entire
Yes.
semester, entire
Yes.
period.
It's a 2-year course.
The Green Blazer of Crossmaglen was seen in Newton Hamilton High School.
You see, I always talk about this being a good news program, and I tend to throw away bad news unless people really need to hear it. But I mean, what you're talking about here is the stuff of our healthy future,
Isn't it? Yeah.
and it's finding a seedbed in Crossmaglen.
Yeah.
And I have to say that Garnet Mullen, the present principal of Newton Hamilton High School,
Yeah.
has been very
Very
open to
supportive.
this and supportive, hasn't he?
He has.
And he's going to be replaced by Neil McGaw now at Halloween.
Yeah.
He's the new principal. And both gentlemen are very open to cooperate.
Fantastic.
And
So
have
it's-
attended our prize givings.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's great.
Nobody hears about that.
No,
Yeah.
no. Well, they hear about it on this program because any chance I have, I bang
Good.
the drum
Yeah.
for positivity
Yeah.
and
Yes.
going forward, which is great. Now, the actual design of the school is your thumbprint on it, boys.
Not as yet, really, Tom, is it?
Will you be
No,
given?
but
Will
we
you be
will.
given a shout?
Oh, we will. Yeah, we will be we will be having meetings ourselves to decide what we actually want, and then, of course, it's dependent then on what the architect can fit in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
for the
regarding
money.
the budget as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you any money to raise yourselves?
Oh yes, the parish will have
yeah.
to raise money.
So you're 14.5 million from government, yes?
Yes.
Now, what is the parish going to have to do?
Well, they're going to have to meet a good percentage of that. I'm not altogether sure at the moment. But, you know, it has a huge implication for the parish as well. Because if you know, government departments don't pay on the button, and there's overdraft, and you have bank interest as well, you know, so
That's right,
it's going to be a huge commitment on 3 parishes.
Yes.
The parish of Upper Craig and Lower Craig and Mullaban.
Have the current coterie of priests the determination
Oh yeah,
to do this?
Father Joe McKay now, who would be the main priest involved. Father Cullen.
Father Cullen,
Father
Juliana.
Cullen has been very supportive.
Yeah.
Very supportive. Father Kevin. They are fully behind it, you know, and well.
Are we? It seems as though we're saying, boys, that in what have been very troubled times for Catholicism, and we're now seeing Catholicism wasn't on its own. The entire British aristocracy have been involved
Yeah.
in this rubbish
Yeah.
of child abuse. But it now seems that with that sort of background of difficulty within Catholicism, you have a very, very healthy plant of the Catholic religion in your area.
It has worked very well in the sense that the 3 parishes were the first people who sort of handed the school over to the laity. And I think I was the first lay person to be chairman of a board of governors in Northern Ireland.
My goodness. But was that done, Tom, because they valued the laity, or was it done because, oh my God, how can we continue doing this? We don't have enough facilities.
No,
or whatever.
no, this was, well, I have been chairman, I think, for about 15 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't as bad then.
Yeah.
But Father McGill, the chairperson then, the PP then, he thought that the laity were better equipped to take on the role
Yeah.
than the clergy.
Yeah.
And he was quite content to leave it in our hands.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it?
It is fantastic. So, you're the teacher, you're the kind of watchdog, if you like, but you work together.
Oh,
how
team.
how does the formula gel?
I know Tom's phone number off by heart. Right, Tom?
Yeah.
I have to say, we have a very good working relationship. Really and truly. And I think Tom was on the appointments committee when I was appointed 32 years ago.
Wow. You were appointed to the school.
Yes.
But not as headmaster.
No,
That's
no,
not
no, no.
recent.
As a rookie.
You were destined for the headship. It would
I
take
don't know about
time.
that.
It would take time.
Well, he was one of our best appointments.
Of course he was.
Yes.
Of course he was. No, I know this man. This man has been on the program before with me, and I'm a pretty good judge of people. You got a good one there, and well done to you. But I mean, he's good because his feet are very firmly on the ground.
Yes.
And that's a huge thing, you know.
And I could just say one thing. There's not a child or parent that comes to the school that he can't call by their Christian name.
That's when you're 70, you might not be able to do that as easily. I promise you, because it's a lovely facility to have that you can do that.
Yeah.
Makes people feel so important.
Yeah.
And people feel very much at home.
Aye.
They feel that if they go in with a problem, they come out with a smile on their face.
Yeah. Well, you're giving them time, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's something what the modern world doesn't give to people, time. That you're taking enough time to say to someone, I want you to come in and sit down and listen. And that's what you seem to be doing, and good luck to you for it. What's the time scale for the school?
Well, roughly 16 to 18 months in the development of the plan.
Yeah.
And we'd estimate between 2.5 to 3 years for the building. So you could say 4 years.
Be great.
Will the old building stick it?
Oh, it will. when we've lasted so long.
Ah, yeah.
It'll
It's
have
on the
to.
same site, boys, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
So where will you facilitate education while the building's going on?
Well, there are a number of areas that we're going to look at. There's property adjacent to it, which hopefully we might be able to purchase. The alternative might be that we might have to build on our existing playing fields.
Yes.
But then there's a possibility the Rangers have a complete complex of playing fields within 100 yards of us. And so there's a possibility maybe of sharing facilities.
Yes.
So all those things have to be looked at, you know, and possibly if you can share the facilities, we might be able to put more money into the school.
Yes.
Rather than have to develop playing fields.
Wouldn't that
or
be
that type
great?
of thing, you know. So all that is in the melting pot.
Absolutely. And Rangers possibly would see your school as a nursery.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a shout
could
out, yeah.
could I just say again, Crossmaglen has been a community school. In the 50 years that it's opened, it's been open at least 16 hours a day. And the community has used it to the full. Crossmaglen Rangers has used it to the full. The other football clubs in the area have used it from time to time, and the community have used it. So we did well to keep it in the condition it is for those 50
You did.
years.
You certainly did.
Yeah.
Boys, I wish you all the success in the world, and keep up the wonderful work you're doing in Crossmaglen, because you're fueling a happy and a confident people. There's no doubt about that, you know. There's no doubt about that at all. I remember there were some of your youngsters on the programme,
Remember Greece?
and they came in and they were effervescent, they were happy, they were totally secure in themselves.
Yes.
And they were happy to perform,
Yeah.
and it was great.
great.
So well done to you indeed. Anything else you want to say before
No, I
we
just
wind
say
up?
that our pupils deserve the best,
Yeah.
you know. And as you said, they're open and warm. And another area that we have been very good at has been the integration of traveller children and pupils from
And that's happening.
other countries. And actually, from a humour's point of view, in many ways, we have developed another language out there. Like the children will greet you and say, "Monye,"
Monya,
and "Fian."
Fian.
Fian is friend.
Friend.
You know, that's if you're driving
That's
along
coming from the travellers' community.
and the parish priest, Father Sweeney, Lord of Mercy, he used to be. He would driving along the road and he'd meet you and he'd, you know, and that's the travellers' language.
We'll do that. How you
And,
doing?
the travellers' language, and the youngsters picked it up,
Yeah.
and it's in common usage within the school.
I think it's wonderful. Boys, go well, and thanks for coming in.
Not at all.
Thank you
All
very
the
much.
best.
Thank you.
And
All
before
the
we go,
best.
Ron, can I just
John.
mention
Yes.
several of our other governors?
Of course you may.
And with Terry Hurty.
Yes.
Actually, Terry's a great... Is she Terry the councillor?
Yes,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and Geraldine Donnelly.
Yes.
Yes.
From two different parties who've been very much to the fore,
Okay.
trying to get us a new school.
Right, okay.
Along with Dominic Bradley,
Yes.
Connor Murphy,
Connor, yes.
and Megan Fern, who has been very influential as well.
Yes.
And I'd just like to publicly thank every single one of them.
You
for all
take
the
your
support.
time now and make sure that you're not leaving anybody out.
Well,
Well,
Because-
there's another, Pius Tierney has been a very loyal and very...
Pius, what a name.
Yeah.
Pius Tierney.
Yeah, from Mullaban.
Mullaban, man.
The storyteller is
Pius Tierney.
Pius Tierney.
Goodness gracious.
And he has been a very loyal governor
Oh, he
as
has
well.
indeed. There's no doubt about that.
Well, boys, if you give Sean your email number on the desk, Sean
Right.
will send this interview to you, and please put it on your website
Well,
and
sure.
use it whatever way you wish.
No
okay.
problem. Thanks very much.
Okay.
indeed.
Go well, take
All right.
care,
Yes.
and God bless you.
Thanks very much,
Sure.
Ron.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you.